Dual Cultivation, WN, Chapter 16. Touch me more, Daddy. 10 minutes passed by within the blink of an eye. Su Yang stopped his movements and walked away from the bed while Yu tried to return to earth from heaven. Her mind has yet to catch up to the present and was still feeling Su Yang's fingers touching her body. Zan, who had her mouth covered for the entire duration, finally removed her hands from her mouth that was still wide open from shock. In her mind, she came to a realization that the wager Elder Lan made with them has suddenly turned into a bet that was impossible for them to win. However, between the profound yin pill and Su Yang's heavenly massage, it was a win-win situation for them, so she wasn't too dejected from losing out on the profound yin pill. As a matter of fact, she would even willingly trade a profound yin pill just to feel Su Yang's hands touching her body for 10 more minutes. A few minutes later, the door to Su Yang's room opened. Who's next? Su Yang asked calmly to the puzzled stares directed at him. What happened to junior apprentice sister Yu? What about senior apprentice sister Zan? They questioned him with suspicion in their eyes. Nothing happened to us. Zan walked out of the room with her face still flushed red. Senior apprentice sister Zan. Junior apprentice sister Yu cannot move properly at the moment and asked to stay inside for a bit longer, said Zan, trying her best not to blush. Again, the girls looked at Su Yang in the room with a wary expression. I will be next. One of the girls suddenly stood up and approached Su Yang, her face showing a determined expression. When Su Yang and the third girl disappeared into the room, Zan fell to the floor in an exaggerated manner. Senior apprentice sister Zan? The girls cried out in shock, and they all ran to assist her. After sitting down on a chair, Zan said with a shy smile, I am fine. My legs are still too sensitive to be walking around. Then she continued, do you all recall the bet Master made with us? That if we can walk out of this room without stumbling, then she will give us a profound yin pill? The girls nodded. Forget about the bet and just enjoy yourselves. What are you saying, senior apprentice sister Zan? I mean, Master made that bet with us knowing that it would be impossible for her to lose. What? The girls exclaimed loudly. How is that even possible? What happened in there? Was the massage that good? Zan smiled bitterly and said, I experienced heaven inside, and I almost didn't want to return. The jaws of everyone there dropped to the ground, especially Tang Hu. Inside the room, the new girl looked at disciple Yu, who was sitting by the corner and staring back at her, with a dumbfounded expression. Junior apprentice sister Yu, what are you doing there in the corner? Yu remained silent, seemingly too embarrassed to answer her. The girl turned to look at Su Yang with narrowed eyes and asked, what did you do to her? My job, he replied in a calm manner. Senior apprentice sister Shang, Su Yang did nothing wrong, please believe him, Yu finally said in a low voice, and she continued. My body is just a little bit sensitive from the massage, so I will be resting here for a moment. Shang frowned and said, why does it have to be in here? Why can't you rest outside? Yu blushed at her question. Because, senior apprentice sister Zan also did the same, she said in an even lower voice. What are you? Sorry to interrupt you, but I have a line of customers waiting outside, said Su Yang. If you do not mind, please lay on the bed so we can get started. Shang looked at him in silence for a moment and snorted, HMPH. I shall see for myself what you have up your sleeves. She laid on the bed and waited for Su Yang to begin, her gaze staring at Yu, who seemed worried with an expression saying, do you really want to look at me during the treatment? Moments later, Shang regretted looking at Yu the second Su Yang began his treatment. Her eyes rolled up, and a loud moan unintentionally escaped from her mouth. Ah tilde. When Yu witnessed Shang's vulgar face, her head exploded in red. She could not help but recall herself being in the same shoe just minutes ago. It was as though she was watching herself instead. This is what senior apprentice sister Zan saw when watching me. She wanted to cry but no tears came out. Yu wasn't sure how loud she was moaning during the treatment, but she figured that it must have been pretty loud since she didn't hold back. I cannot look at senior apprentice sister Zan in the face ever again or I will die from shame. More, touch me more, daddy. Yu's eyes popped out of its sockets when Shang addressed Su Yang as her daddy. Even Su Yang couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. The last time someone called him daddy, he was nearly kidnapped and imprisoned to be a sex slave for the girl. However, Shang didn't seem to be aware of what she just said and continued moaning, shocking Yu even further. Did I also say something that embarrassing? I don't remember. I can't remember anything. While panicking, Yu continued watching her senior apprentice sister Shang scream in pleasure, her body trembling at every moan, and the image of her senior apprentice sister Shang, whom she held with high regards and respected greatly, would only slowly shatter in her mind the longer she watched. However, despite all the embarrassment she was experiencing, Yu couldn't help but continue staring with unblinking eyes. It was as though she was mesmerized by the heavenly scene. I want to switch places, she sighed some moments later.